Right, I've been out buying stuff again, and I thought, because it was like in dribs and drabs over the course of a few weeks, I thought it was I didn't think I'd bought quite so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it up. In this video, we're going to go through the Sega stuff I've picked up. I'm trying to get away from saying picked up and pickups. The Sega stuff that I've purchased in the recent past, that I've bought, that I've not that I've picked up, that I've bought, although I have physically picked it up off the counter. Shut up, John. Right, anyway, we're going to go through all the Sega stuff that I've bought. I'm just going to go through it as it is on the desk, and I'm going to try and remember where I got it from, how much it cost me, and if it was from CEX, I'll try and remember roughly how much the vouchers cost me to get that particular game. Anyway, I'm going to start with Game Gear. I've bought quite a lot of Game Gear recently, and I think quite a lot of this, not all of it, quite a lot of this is from CEX. So the first one I've got isn't from CEX. This is from that retro game shop in the Granger Market in Newcastle. Kev Moon runs a great shop in the Granger Market, like I say. Often has some stuff that you don't see anywhere else, and you definitely won't see in CEX. Anyway, first Game Gear game I got was Lemmings, and that only cost me £3. I bought quite a few games, Master System games and Game Gear games off Kev that day, and he knocked us a couple of quid off as well. So even though that says £3 on it, and I feel like, you know, that was the price he had on it, I don't feel like I quite paid £3 for it, because he did us another good deal. Anyway, shut up waffling and just go through the games. And we've got Super Off-Road again on the Game Gear. All the next few of these are all going to be Game Gear. Super Off-Road, I'm not sure. I think I got that in a... Oh, I did. I got that in a CEX. I got that in Manchester, because when I was taking my daughter to have a look at a couple of universities, went to the Metro... the Arndale Centre, sorry, in Manchester. I've been in Newcastle too long. Went to the Arndale Centre in Manchester, and they had one game that I wanted on the Game Gear for £4. So I drove God knows how long to get one £4 game from CEX. Not exactly, but I did. Then we've got Halley Wars. I think that was from CEX in North Shields, I think. And I think it was £4 or £5. And then I've got Clacks. And you can see how much that one was. It was from CEX. Can't remember which one. Maybe Washington. And I've got Devilish. Again, that's from Kev at that retro game shop in the Granger Market. And that one, what's that one got on the back of it? £3 again. So you can't go wrong for £3 a game, I don't think. I've got Shinobi. That was CEX in York on the same day I went to Manchester to take my daughter. I'm going to bring this a little bit closer so I stop leaning in and out of shot. And then I've got... Brilliant. Well done, John. Another copy of Lemmings, and this time it is from CEX. Don't remember buying that one clearly, that's why I bought another one from Kev. £4 I think it will have been from CEX. And then we've got Desert Speed Trap, starring I think it's starring Wile E. Coyote, isn't it? Yeah, and Roadrunner. And again, £3 from that retro game shop. And then we've got Echo the Dolphin, and that one was from CEX, £4 or £5. Can't remember which CEX it was. I think it was North Shields. Still a couple more Game Gear games to go. A couple of slightly better ones as well. I'll start with the not quite so good ones. In the little protectors this time as well though, so that's a nice little bonus when you get these. And the first one is Putt and Putter. I think that was from a CEX, can't remember which one. And I think this one was North Shields CEX. It was definitely CEX, I think it was North Shields. And it's the WWF Steel Cage Challenge. The next one, this was from Kev again, that retro game shop. And it's the Terminator. Didn't have this, I could well have bought this off Kev in the past, but it wasn't already in this little protector. It's got £6 on the back, but again, like I said, he did me a good deal. And then another one from CEX. I'm not sure which one again. I think this one was maybe Arnis and Durham, I think. And it's Streets of Rage. And this one definitely was Arnis and Durham. And it's a tenner for a loose copy, and then it's 20 quid for a box without a manual, and I thought, nearly all my other games are loose. I don't know why I bothered paying double the price for this, just because it's got a box without a manual. But anyway, it's Wonder Boy and the Dragon's Trap. So obviously it's a good game, but I mean, I could have got it cartridge only for a tenner, so I'm not sure why I paid 20 quid for it. But I've got a couple of box ones, but most of the Game Gear games I've got are loose. Also, if you're watching this, Scott at Marathon Gaming, I'd like to know where you got the stands that you've put all your Game Gear games on. They look great on all the, especially when you've got as many games as you've got. The games look great in those stands. And also, Tootie's been buying quite a lot of Game Gear games recently as well. I've been noticing, and that I think watching those two is kind of when I can't find any Atari stuff, watching those two is like nudged me in the direction of getting some Game Gear stuff, I think. And I've got a couple of Game Gears. I haven't got a box one, and I sold a box one because it needed recapping, and I should have just got it recapped. I don't know why. I sold it as spares and repairs, but I sold it with the box. Stupid. Anyway, so I went to Nerdfest, the Halloween Nerdfest at the parks, run by the lads at the Northeast Retro Den on Facebook. It's a great group, loads of great people on there, and they run this. I think it's 2 or 3 times a year, but there's usually a summer one, Nerd Summerfest, Nerd Fright Fest, and this obviously was the Halloween one. And there was a lad there just selling a load of his stuff. Sat there, I think he was with his mum, and he had loads of decent stuff. Good prices as well, and I bought a couple of Game Gear games off him, as well as some other bits, but they're not Sega, so they'll not be in this video. Nothing out of this world. I mean, this one particularly is not, but I mean, this is cheaper than I would get it anywhere else, and it's in a slightly damaged case, but it's not bad. Anyway, did get Choo Choo Rocket. This is one that I do actually have some not childhood, but some nostalgia from when the Dreamcast first came out, because we got, I think did everyone get that with the system when it came out? Someone can remind me on that. And then cracking game, I think, and only 7 quid. Sega Rally Championship. These are both complete, really good condition, apart from one slight crack in that Choo Choo Rocket, like I say. There's the manual. Obviously the disc is in the other side, and the cases aren't falling apart, so can't really go wrong. And then I was looking on CEX, and there's a couple of games I've been looking for a long time that I did have nostalgia for. Definitely the first one. And then I think I've got some nostalgia for the second one, but because I've bought the first one, and I still then have to buy all the follow-ons, so there's still one more game, but it's not a Sega game that I'll have to add to this collection. But the first one I bought anyway, and it was only £10 because it was without manual, but I like, as long as it's got the case and it displays nice on the shelf, and I've got the cartridge and I can play the game, I'm not too bothered. I'll still keep an eye out for the manual in the future, but if one pops up that I really want and I can get it local to me, I'll go and get it, and then I'll worry about getting the manual later. Unless it's something really, really top end that I've got to have complete. Anyway, it's Toe Jam and Earl, the first Toe Jam and Earl game. Definitely got nostalgia for that one. Like I say, without manual, so I'm not going to bother opening it up. Cartridge is definitely in there though. And then another CEX not too far away from that. I think this one was from Sunderland actually. That one was from, I think, Arnis and Durham was the first one. And then in Sunderland, there was also the second one on the same day. This one is complete though, so, and it's a little bit more expensive. Manual's not in great condition, but the game overall is not too bad. So complete and local for 20 quid. So no postage or anything. So quite happy with that. Toe Jam and Earl 2. Panic on Funkatron. I mean, it's not even called Toe Jam and Earl 2 really, it's just Toe Jam and Earl Panic on Funkatron, I think. So I do have some nostalgia for that, but the main nostalgia is definitely for the first one. And obviously the second, the third game I want is, I think it's on Xbox. I think it's only on Xbox as well. I could be wrong on that, but I think it's only on the Xbox. But I will be getting that to add to it now, even though I've not really any nostalgia for that one. And then I managed to get, I bought a big box from the lad who organises the Nerdfest. He advertised on the group, he just said big box of bits and bobs, and there was a couple of little bits in there that I wanted, and then there was also some extras in there, and there was these like promotional, I think they promote like promotional inlay things for the film of Sonic. There's like a couple of different versions of those, and then they're like on a card, and then these ones are like on a more traditional kind of inlay paper. I don't know if these have been homemade or they were actually promotional things, but these look like, I mean, he must have bought a load of Sonics to have spare cases for something, because I've got 3 spare Sonic the Hedgehog inlays in there as well. So anyway, that's not all the games, don't worry. I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent there, because I wanted to do all the Sega stuff on this one, and I saw them still there. So next, Master System still. This was from Kev, that retro game shop. World Soccer for a £5. Not the greatest title, but I didn't have it, so it is complete. So I mean, £5 for a complete Master System game. And then this one's a quality game. Unfortunately, no manual with this one, and the case is really hard, really hard to open. But it's a great game, like I say. That is really hard to open if you fasten the top clip on that box. Anyway, £8 for Hang On the Master System. Obviously, it's built into some of the systems, but I've got a couple of Master System 2s as well. I think I have got a Master System 1 that it's got. I think it's got Safari Hunt and Hang On built in. Nice box system. But this one has got. Obviously, this one will be to play on a Master System 2 or on the Retron 5 with the converter. And again from Kev, just £4 again. Great football. Probably won't play it that much, but I haven't got it. Unfortunately, no manual, but I mean, £4 again. And then another quality, in my opinion, another quality one. Unfortunately, no manual again, but £4 for World Grand Prix. Now, the next one's a Mega Drive game. I do have some nostalgia for this, and I remember, I seem to remember if you complete the game, you get to unlock a character that's like double hard, and you can just knock everyone out, and it's Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing. Someone put me right if I'm wrong on this, but is there when you complete the games, you get a character called the Beast, and he's like a green, I don't know, almost like a green Ivan Drago or something, I think. So anyway, like I say, if I'm remembering that wrong, someone let me know in the comments. And then the next one, this one was from Sore Thumb Retro Games when I was in York with my daughter at the university, and it's a complete copy of Vigilante. I remember playing this I'm sure I played this on the arcades when I was younger. I think it's a follow-on to Kung Fu Master, and I played a lot of Kung Fu Master on the arcade. It was in a little cafe near where I lived when arcades used to be 10p a go. And I had a lot of goes on Kung Fu Master at that time, and I think Vigilante is the follow-on. And then the next one, this again was from Sore Thumb. Just because I don't see it knocking around that much. I mean, it's these kind of games, it's a football game. They're never going to be worth fortunes, but didn't have it, and I don't see it around that much, so got Ultimate Soccer. And those two are both complete, so that's quite nice. I want to leave that one till last, and that one till... I've got one to leave till last, one to leave till second last. And then this one is from, I'm going to say, Washington CEX, and it's Castle of Illusion. I didn't own it, and I've also bought that to try and catch up on some of the Master System challenges. I think I've got 10 physical games now in my collection that I can catch up on, so I'll be doing, hopefully, Nobody Minds, especially Generation Pixel. Hopefully he doesn't mind. I'm going to bang out a few of these videos to try and play catch up on the Master System challenge, if that's okay. And then the next one is Desert Strike, and that one's complete. So was Castle of Illusion, I think. And that's a tenner from Washington again. This one, unfortunately, not complete, but again, this is one with my Atari collections and everything. One that I had to buy, one that I would consider super retro, and it's Super Space Invaders. So super retro, Super Space Invaders. And then I think I've only got 3 more to go now. You'll be glad to hear. I've got this one for without manual price. Now, I'll show you it. Technically, it's not in the greatest condition. But I mean, it's got a manual. That's not going to show you what it is because the manual has no cover on it. So it's not a fantastic condition in that sense, but it does have a manual. I'm going to have a go at trying to print off just the front and back page to add onto the back of it, just for my own completionist. Obviously, I would never try and sell it on or anything as complete. But anyway, it's R-Type on the Master System. Another one I think is in the challenge. So another one I'll be trying to catch up. And that was 18 quid without manual. So very happy with that. I recently picked up a cartridge-only copy of Sega. I'm sure I've got a boxed, if not complete, copy of that somewhere. But until I find that, I'll be playing the cartridge-only one. And then another classic on the Master System. Excuse me. Might just cut that little cough out. Another classic on the Master System, like I say, and it's Streets of Rage. Unfortunately, no manual again, but I was watching someone play it on YouTube, and I just thought, I've got to have a go of it. I mean, I've got Streets of Rage. I think I've got Streets of Rage and Streets of Rage 2 on the Mega Drive, but it really looked quite good on the Master System. So, and I don't own it, and I've bought quite a lot of Master System games. So I'm going to be trying to build, not necessarily going for a full collection, but I'm going to be trying to build up the Master System collection going forward. Obviously, I'm still looking primarily for the Atari stuff, but Sega stuff seems to be second on the list at the moment. So, Streets of Rage without manual, 15 quid. And then, again, unfortunately, without manual, and pretty, I think pretty faded on the front. I was umming and ahhing, but I think the bottom of the case you can see is what colour it probably should be, and then the rest of it, I think it must have been in the window at CEX or something, because it was from CEX again. And again, I saw someone on YouTube playing a version of this. I think, in fact, I know it was Retro Tap, Rich Tappenden, was playing this on the Commodore 64, and there was a version of it that looked, the second version of it that he played looked really good. I think it was like maybe a later release homebrew kind of ROM for the C64. I mean, the first one played okay, looked okay. It was funny, it was making me laugh when he got to the end of the first level and he would jump up and start running across, and it would just go straight into the second level without warning, and his character would just carry on running and straight off the platform. Sorry, Rich, but it was quite funny. It was a great video altogether anyway. So, and like I say, that second version really looks good. Anyway, shut up waffling. Last game I'm going to show, and it's Ghouls and Ghosts. So I don't know if he was playing Ghouls and Ghosts or Ghosts and Goblins, but they're pretty much the same game, aren't they? Just with licensing differences, I think. So, like I said, that's just the Sega stuff. Like I said, I didn't know I'd bought so much, and that's just the Sega stuff. I've got a load of Nintendo to show you, which I'll do in the next video. And then I've got a load of, what would I call it? Miscellaneous sundries. I've got a load of miscellaneous stuff to show you, including a little bit of Atari, other Super Retro system as well. A little bit of, I suppose you would call it real retro, because it's a modern release of an old game in a way. But I've been wanting to play it for a while, and I haven't played it because I haven't showed it on YouTube for some strange reason, and it's still sitting there sealed. So I want to get that shown so I can actually play it. So like I say, it'll be Nintendo, then it'll be miscellaneous. Oh, I've also got some vintage toys coming up, some real good finds, I think, of some vintage toys that I have real nostalgia from my childhood. Anyway, enough waffling about that. Thanks for watching. That was the Sega stuff. More stuff to come. Hopefully a few videos. I'll bang out a few videos from the Master System challenge. I want to get a little bit of practice in as well. I want to get I've bought a game for another challenge, which I was just about to say, but I'm going to have to, I haven't shown it yet, so I'm going to try and hold off on saying what that one is, but I've got another challenge in the pipeline. And hopefully I'll be a bit more involved in those kind of things going forward. Anyway, I've told myself to stop waffling 2 or 3 times, and I've just carried on. Thanks for watching. That was the Sega stuff. More stuff to come, including and a lot of other kinds of videos all on the way as soon as I can get them done. Stop being lazy, get the videos done, get them out. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.